fire them up. That's what we do on the Andrew Gosser Show. We fire them up right here on 103.9 WYAB, where we are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We are streaming on YouTube. And we are streaming on that social media platform that begins with a F, but I can't say the name. And we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal that is 103.9 WYAB, help us build the station, grow the channel, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Share it with a friend, share it with a neighbor, share it with a Democrat, share it with a Republican, for crying out loud. And yep, if you want to be part of the program, the number is 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? You all are the saints. Hear this, O foolish and senseless people, for who have eyes but do not see, who have ears but do not hear. That is really applicable in today's society. Brother Rick.
What's going on, man?
You're in the studio.
I'm here.
I don't see any flashing blue lights out there.
Oh, man, look, that's crazy. I was calling into the show. I was all pumped up yesterday or a couple of days ago, and I felt like I was finally getting my thoughts across just right. And somebody had some different ideas for what I should be doing at the time.
You know, I was actually listening, waiting to go in to see the doc when all that happened. I'm sitting there looking at Blake, and Blake's kind of like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Honestly, the guy was super nice. For y'all that don't know, I got pulled over. I was being a little naughty. I was going a little faster than I should have, but I got pulled over. Super nice guy. Nobody got shot. It was crazy. We actually talked to each other and had a conversation, and we both, believe it or not, we both left smiling. He got me dead to rights, and that's his job. So
yep. So in other words, you weren't mouthy.
No. Actually, I was very respectful. He walked up, did the whole tap your tail light thing, and I use that as a conversation starter. I'm asking him to explain, why do y'all do that? Like every cop video I ever see, they always tap the tail light. I never could figure out why. But anyway, it just made me think about something. They got me dead to rights.
Yep.
And I'm not mad at them for doing their job, but I'm just wondering, like, some of these politicians and some of these rich people or celebrities, they get away with so much and they never get held accountable for anything. And it makes it hard for me to want to pay my fine that I know I deserve it. Yep. I agreed to drive a speed limit when I got my license, and I agreed to follow the laws. But why should I pay that whenever we have other people dead to rights and nothing ever happens?
It's this two-tier society. It's the political class against the rest of us.
It is.
It's not Democrat versus Republican, left versus right. I would say it is freedom versus communism. The communism is just crazy. But yeah, man, that was crazy to be sitting there in the doctor's office. And you're sitting there going to town, Blake, and having a conversation, and all of a sudden, oh, I got to go. I'm getting pulled over.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm fully committed to helping the show any way I can. That's all I can say.
Dude, you are steadfast and trusty and reliable, and you give good information. Well, on this show, I like to talk about being on the cutting edge of societal evolution, and we are. And we've been talking about this. I'm not sure if the other talk show hosts on WYB have been talking about the DSA. I think Kim Wade has a little bit, Clay has a little bit, Lindsay has a little bit, but we've really delved deep into this. And I've been trying to warn anybody who will listen to me. These Democrat socialists of America, they're full-blown Marxist, communist rascals.
But what's powering them? I want to know what the cause is. Not the symptom, but the cause.
Dude, they are the ultimate Obama grassroots organizers, and I've got the proof to put it out here. Brother Dogfish sent me an article. And so the guy that was running for the Democrat nomination in Florida was Alex Vindman of infamous Crossfire Hurricane claim. He testified against Trump. He was a retired, I'll say this, he was an honorably retired U.S. Army lieutenant colonel.
But there's more. He actually listened into a call that he wasn't supposed to listen into, then leaked that to his brother.
Yep.
And then they used that to try to go after Trump for impeachment.
I'm not arguing that he shouldn't have an honorable discharge, but he does. So I'm just reporting it as it is. And those of us who served in the military know there's a lot of people who got general discharge when they should have got either a big chicken dinner or even a dishonorable, but they get the general discharge, and that's okay. It's all right. I'm not doing that. But he had the Democrat establishment behind him, 1,000%. He raised almost $16 million for his Senate race in Florida. $16 million, dude.
But that comes back to what I was just saying a minute ago. I'm getting held accountable for doing a few miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yep.
This guy openly and reportedly, from all the news, they all reported it, committed treason.
It's not treason because we weren't declared in.
He leaked classified information.
So that's a different crime, but it's not treason. Treason can only be in a time of war, as I understand.
But we've been at war for 47 years.
There's no declared war.
But see, everybody keeps twisting words up.
Well, I get it. I'm saying I agree with you, but I'm saying what the legals are going to do.
I know, but I'm just trying to fight fire with fire.
Yeah,
that's all.
And you're totally right. I completely agree with you. But this is why we're on the cutting edge of societal evolution, my friend. Alex Vindman raised $16 million. Now, instead of putting that money on a loser like Vindman, they could have paid off their mortgage on their headquarters.
Right, but they don't.
But they didn't. He ran against a crazy bat spit nut job named Angela Nixon, DSA member. And there is some crazy videos out there on X and TikTok that you can go out and look at her. She won. She beat Alex Vindman by double digits. How much money do you think she raised?
Well, it's cheating because I know the answer.
Oh, well, then give the people.
It's about 1.6 million.
There's somewhere between 1.7 and $900,000 is what it is. Dude, you see the power of grassroots organizing? And Florida is not a small state. This isn't like Rhode Island or New Hampshire or one of those other little BS northeastern states where you can sit there and if you look, blink twice, you're through the state already. This is Florida, man. It takes you 11 hours to go from top to bottom, and it'll take you 13 if you want to go to Key West.
But is it grassroots, or is it social media, or is it just sheer frustration with the system?
So what I would say is that the communist socialists powered through George Soros have weaponized Zoom, Signal, Telegram, X, and other social media platforms to communicate local leaders, to hook up together, to go ahead and form a grassroots network that is really local and really powerful. And when I say local, like in a city of Jackson, they probably have 40 or 50 leaders in the entire 117,000 person population of Jackson.
See, I don't think you're wrong, but I also think there's more to it. Like have you seen all these women that are in support of this woman who strangled her 3 kids?
Yes, it's crazy. I can go pull up some videos of it, but it's got too many F-bombs to play.
Well, all I'm saying is that woman gained support. She probably could get elected over that other crazy woman you were just talking about in Florida. Society just needs Jesus.
Dude, I've got to read this. That's a great segue. I was defending the Christian Constitution yesterday, and there's a guy who's just saying, you're dead, you're caught to rights, you're doing everything wrong. And I've got like 5 of these messages, but this one really hit through to me. Andrew, you did a good job handling that caller today, asking about the Bible and the Constitution. No way I would have given him that much patience with someone who didn't want to listen or argue. I enjoy your show. Keep on keeping on. And I said, thank you. And but that's the thing. You got to have eyes to hear or eyes to see and ears to hear. And that caller didn't do it. He just wants to believe his narrative. And there's no really big civil discourse, which is why this show is so awesome. And it's not because of anything I do. It's because we have conversations. We don't have screaming matches.
Well, you've got to understand, just repeating something doesn't make it true.
Yep.
So I can sit here and tell you that this cup in front of me is blue. And you say, but Rick, it's red. And I'm like, it's blue. It's blue. It's blue. I'm not arguing that anything, and I'm not proving anything. I'm just dead set on my talking point, and you don't gain anything that neither one of us benefit from that.
No,
you've got to talk the whole situation out.
And we got stuff we got to talk about because I see things changing in ways that I didn't see changing that I would never even bring up, Rick.
Yep.
But if I see it on CNN or MS Now /BS Always, I'm going to bring it up. This is Brother Blue Sim chiming in. It's also a lack of voter turnout. Too many people don't bother to vote in primaries and wonder how they wind up with these candidates. Very true point, brother Blue Sim. And that's why I want so many Tea Party conservatives to run for just local office. I'm telling you this, you get your neighbor to show up to be a precinct delegate on that Saturday at the local church or local school where you're voting. You're going to be the next precinct delegate, and you can say whatever you want, but you're going to be heard inside the county GOP. Now, but if you get enough of your friends from all around the county to do that in every precinct, well, now you can really do something. Could you imagine if you just had, let me pick a county here that I don't personally know somebody in that's pretty, I can't pick one, so I'm going to use Republican because I know them all. Could you imagine if Rankin County Republican GOP said, Senator Wicker, Cindy Hyde-Smith, you need to support the Save America Act? And they just put out a press statement. Boom. We're not speaking for the Mississippi GOP. We're not speaking for anybody else. Our members got together. We had a meeting and we said we want the senators to vote the Save America Act. Hey, now all of a sudden, other counties are going to look at that. It's just like what happened with that redistricting meeting yesterday. I got another text, and the Lee County GOP chairman had no notice that they were going to have a redistricting meeting in Lee County.
How do you not
He
have
did
a
not hear
notice?
from the state GOP, and this is from somebody who is inside the GOP right now. The state didn't put out, hey, organize for this. The state GOP didn't do it. The lieutenant governor's office didn't do it.
So you're just saying it's a lack of communication?
A complete lack of communication. But you know who did communicate? The DSA. There were over 100 Democrats there. Many of them were Democrat Socialists of America. How many Republicans showed up?
Probably 10.
5, dude.
Wow. See,
5. And now you get steamrolled, and then we get stories like this on WLBT. Of course, it crashes out, but it doesn't matter. WLBT said, or no, wait, maybe it was Magnolia Tribune. Let me get it there. Yeah, it was Magnolia Tribune. Forgive me while I pull this up here, ladies and gentlemen.
So do you think it was a voter turnout, a lack of voter turnout, or do you think that the people on the so-called right side are just kind of losing faith in the whole system?
I think the right side are losing faith. Listen to this, and this is coming from Magnolia Tribune. Our man Frank Corder, he is arguably the best journalist we have in Mississippi. I mean, he's the very best. There's no one better than him. He calls it straight down the middle. He'll call me out. He'll call Haley Barber out. He'll call whoever out in his journalistic opinion. He's the best guy. First public hearing of Mississippi redistricting draws claims of racism, fascism. And he goes on to say here, and it turned out 10-1 in support of not redistricting or calling it racist and fascist. And you got these people sitting out there on the board listening, and it's just, we're completely overpowered. And the thing is we have more people, but I'm just being truthful as someone who's inside the party, and I have friends outside the party like you're disenfranchised with us.
Political atheist.
Political atheism. I mean, that's scary too. Hey, look, that's already the first segment, brother. We got to take our first commercial break. Yep. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Andrew Gosser and Brother Rick on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show on 1039 WYAB. I'm here with Brother Rick. Brother Rick, we got to talk about him.
Hey, let's go ahead and knock it out.
Eye Gear Optical, Brother Bruce, over there in Pearl off of Highway 80. If you're looking for glasses, that's the place to go, man. I'm telling you what, I've got these new spectacles on.
They look good.
Dude, not only they look good, the price was right. And dude, I am able to read so much better. I mean, my other glasses are really good, but with me with the Parkinson's, I have a hard time with the bifocals, man. And I just needed like a really powerful set of prescription strength readers. And Bruce hooked me up.
See, I can't admit this to my family, but I was trying to do a jig the other day to go fishing.
Yep.
And I kind of had to hold it off a little bit. And so I think I'm getting to the age where I might need to go by there, but I can't say that to the public.
No.
But I'm going to go see Bruce.
We got to go see Bruce. You can find him at eyegearoptical.com, eyegearoptical.com. The phone number, if you want to give him a call, that is 601-203-2945. And let him know that you heard about him on the Andrew Gosser Show with Brother Rick and Andy. And I'd appreciate that. Brother Bruce, we appreciate you sponsoring the show, man. We do that. So we were talking about offline a little bit about data centers, a little bit about the power grid. And I think that's where we should probably go next. There's been a lot of talk, obviously, about the data centers. And I'm going to just tell you what I heard. This is open source, but they're openly talking about bringing back hydrogen power, which is a lot cooler, doesn't produce the heat footprint that these turbine energy sources do. It doesn't have the same impact on the environment that it does. And, you know, the people who brought out hydrogen power back in the 90s, they're all dead now.
Yep.
They're dead. They didn't want that out. To have people openly talking about that is something that I find really interesting, and I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
I think you can take it in a whole bunch of different directions. You can go down the rabbit hole of all these data centers. Like, why are they, square miles big? And it makes no sense if you're talking about just a AI. And then you can think about it like this: they're trying to hoover up all the compute to prevent competition from getting the same chips that are needed to make all these centers. Then you can look at it, well, they're trying to get control by sucking up all the electricity and forcing Americans to change their way of life. You can look at it from the water, like they're drying up all the rivers. It doesn't matter what rabbit hole you want to go down. You can follow that rabbit hole a long, long ways and come to any conclusion basically that you want to. But the truth of the matter is, if everybody, see, it's interesting. I want to be wrong more than anybody else wants me to be wrong, and that's a weird place to be.
Me too.
But if I'm right, then everybody needs to figure out how to be self-sufficient. If the data center would not matter to you personally, if you had your own off-grid solar, your own water collection, and you grew your own food.
Go on.
None of these situations would matter. I mean, yes, it's going to matter in the ambient temperature of some of these hyperscale centers that are producing, all this ungodly amount of heat, but it's not going to have as much effect as if you're tied to the grid, like these 13 states on the East Coast that are with PJM that starting next June. They're going to have PJM said that they cannot guarantee power all the time. It's not going to be consistent. There's going to be blackouts.
There has to be.
Right.
The AI demand is growing exponentially. And here's the scary part about it, Rick. The people who are actually using AI to learn how to farm, to learn how to do things, research things, is very little. They're using AI to figure out, I guess there's some game called Roadblocks, or the kids are actually playing nuts, going nuts on. There's more doing stuff like that than there is of actually doing something. Now, I've got Grok at home, and I'm actually building a satellite using Grok to do all the engine. Yeah, it won't certify it, but it's building it. And, it's an 8K camera off the shelf that's going to be able to go to low Earth orbit, point at the moon, and take pictures of the moon. And am I actually going to fly it? No. But I'm trying to show people you can get really smart on something that you didn't actually know. And it ties right into this. And I'm putting this out at Andrew Gosser on X. And ladies and gentlemen, Brother Rick's telling you about being self-sufficient with food. In the month of August, frozen blueberries, possible E. coli contamination, callback. iceberg lettuce, possible Clysporora contamination. Never heard Clysporora. Call back. Look, dude, it did it. It freaking did it. It crashed.
I told you.
Dude, I can't believe this. It just did it. As soon as we talked about this off the air before the show, I swear to God, put my hand on the Bible right now. I was like, dude, as soon as we start talking about food or Israel,
it's gonna crash.
It's gonna crash. And dude, I am not kidding you. And this is a new computer. I've had it like I brought it into Geek Squad to say, hey, it's just randomly restarting. They couldn't find anything wrong with it. Oh my gosh, dude. So, anyways, I was enter your PIN. Oh, now it's not letting me enter my PIN.
You might as well just throw that one away and get you something else.
Dude, I think I'm gonna have to. It won't actually let me enter.
My ex account got blocked the other day. I was just searching some stuff on it, and this little thing popped up.
I can't. It's blocking my PIN, so I'm trying my backup password. We might just have to Florida freestyle it after this. There it goes. Unreal, dude. Unreal. You heard it in my voice. Oh, we got a caller. Let's take the caller. Hey, go ahead. You're on the air.
All right, Andrew. As someone who was certified in computer forensics for Microsoft systems for a number of years back in the 90s.
Yep.
I have gone Mac. You need to get rid of that laptop, get you a Mac Mini, maybe an M4.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about the size of a little cube, 4 inches by 4 inches. That's all you need. Mine has never rebooted. I've had it for almost a year now. Has never rebooted. Never had any problems with anything on it. No software glitches, no viruses. Everything I plug into it or install on it just works. I was reluctant to do Mac because I thought it was going to be hard. It is not. You can take this Mac Mini, unplug it from your home, put it in your little bag, take it, plug it in at the office, and just carry an HDMI cable with you, plug it into, a little standalone monitor there. Everything will just work. You got to trust me.
Chris,
you have to come over to my house. You can sit in front of my Mac and go to town on it. You can't break it. You can't do anything wrong to it. It just works.
Chris, I'm telling you what, brother. Rick and I were talking about it off air. I'm like, my computer's going to crash today. And he's like, Israel or food supply. And we're just getting into the food supply. Yeah. I got through three of them, and it immediately went to the black screen of death. It was incredible. I'm going to have to look into a Mac because this is.
Yeah, come over and test drive mine. I'll have you over and you can test drive mine one time. But I'm telling you, it's not because of what you're saying. It's 2 words, Microsoft. And I had the same problem when I had my laptop. I was trying to get that podcast started. I can't tell you how many times that thing would restart before I could get the podcast going.
It's really sad because I've grown up on Windows and I'm like fighting going to a Mac, but I might have to. It's just too.
How much did you pay for that laptop? Was it more than $500?
I think this was like a $790 laptop.
Okay. I got my Mac Mini M4, 256 gigabyte just runs phenomenally fast. I have it directly hooked into my fiber optic wire at the house. I'm running around 500 megabits per second download and upload.
Wow.
And I think I got it for around $500.
See, I'm curious if he bought that, you said a year ago, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how much it is now, because that's what I was talking about a minute ago.
They're about $500-$600. You can get one if you look around enough. You can find maybe a used one, especially an M4, for about $600.
It's just very coincidental, Chris, that every time and like I've talked about it on the air. It doesn't just crash when I'm talking about any regular story. It's always about either food, energy, or Iran. And it happened, but I'm gonna have to look into it because it's just completely.
Do you have an iPhone?
I do.
Okay, your iPhone will automatically sync perfectly with your desktop. You can text, you can do everything from your desktop that you do on your iPhone seamlessly. It keeps up with everything.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'm go get another set of glasses from Bruce over at iGear Optical and then go to the Mac store because I tell you what, this whole segment now has just been blown up, but it's good to talk to you, Chris. We got to have you in the
All right,
studio
man.
sometime when you get your
Yeah,
schedule.
I'm finishing up some one of the retirement jobs I've got. I'm done with it on Tuesday
Yep.
evening, and then I'm done with that forever. So I'll have more time. I can budget out and coming into the studio most days. Tuesdays are usually the better days, but most days now, based on when the granddaughter's nap is.
Yep.
And just as a promo for me, I'll be on WDDB AM out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania tomorrow, about 11:30, 12 o'clock our time.
Yep.
If they go to WWDB, just search for WWDB, the Conservative Voice. I'll be on there with Gary Heasley for about a half hour.
Chris, we got to keep in touch, man. It's really important. And where
All
can
right,
they find you?
right.
Real quick. Where can we find you on X?
He's just on X is just the Chris Hinkle.
The Chris Hinkle, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Chris, thank you so much for the call.
Bye-bye.
Dude, let's just take an early break, and then we're gonna get into all this poison food that's being recalled, and we'll just see. I might have to go print it out just in case it crashes. Maybe I got to go back to the old El Rushbo. That's Brother Rick. I am Andrew Gosser. This is the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Little more cowball on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. I'm here with Brother Rick. We're going to try this again, Rick, because there are people out there that don't want to know all the food that's been considered poisonous. And we're just going to go through the month of August, all right?
I got $1 on it crashing.
Let's hope not. Frozen blueberries, E. coli. Iceberg lettuce, Clasphoria. Eggshells, salmonella. Mixed berries, possible E. coli. Pistachio nut butter, salmonella. Green powder supplements, salmonella. Jalapeno containing dips, salsa, and guacamole products, salmonella. Soup kits, listeria. Jesus. Salad dressing, salmonella. Granola, salmonella. Dog food, salmonella. Jalapeno peppers, salmonella. That was just in this month, dude. And it's not over yet. We're halfway through the month, and all that's already been done. And here we got you coming on the show once a week talking about being food prepared. I talk about it, and we try to get our kids to be interested in it. But unfortunately, they're sitting there too busy playing video games and swiping on Instagram. Their iPhones won't crash. They sit in here, start to learn how to farm, talk about poison food. Then you're going to get the crash problem.
It's fun. It's actually fun. I know it's hot, and I know that you might not know exactly how to do these things, but it's okay to learn during a civil time.
Yep.
Don't think that you're going to wait till if it hits the fan. Now I'm going to go play in a garden. Well, it doesn't work like that. You gotta fail during the soft times to make it during the hard times.
We've got so many seeds that are freeze dried up, and we know because if it does crash in 6 months, now you're going to be a vegan unless you've got some meat birds around or some chickens or something. You're going to be a vegan, but you can survive. I mean, our cucumber harvest, our squash harvest, and I mean, we'll put a lot more time into it. Like when we're doing our raised bed gardens and everything, maybe 10 minutes a day, water it for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, if that's your source of food, you're not going to be given that 10 minutes a day. You're going to be out there full-time daycare.
And so you can do a raised bed very cheap.
Yep.
We do them. You go get some fence boards.
Yep.
And some untreated the 2x3s.
Yep.
And you just double stack your fence boards, put the 2x3s in the corners to hold it together, one in the middle for support, fill it up with some cheap dirt. I mean, you can really get in this game for nothing.
I mean, you might end up spending $200 or $300, but think about the amount of money you're going to save when you know where that cucumber's been. There's never been any Roundup on it. There's never been any pesticides on it. It's all been pollinated naturally. I mean, there is a sense of accomplishment and a sense of
it's pride. I mean,
yeah,
and it just tastes better. I don't care what anybody says. If you spend the time and the sweat to plant something and then harvest something, it just tastes better than what you get from the store.
It really does, ladies and gentlemen, and it is so good. And that's why. And I just use stories like this. This is coming from Headquarters News, so you can go there and fact check me all you want. But these are the ones there, dude. Just some of the ones that standing out to me: pizza cheese bread products, salmonella in July, dried herring fish, botulism. Oh,
that sounds fun.
Requesens cheese. Is that the little triangle cheeses? Requesens?
I think so.
I think it is, but it might not be. So we're gonna say it's not. But whatever Requesens cheese is,
I don't want any of it. Whatever it is.
Listeria, and this is in July. Soft ricotta cheese, Listeria, July. Infant formula, botulism. They found botulism in infant formula. Multiple cheese varieties, Listeria.
So did they just now start looking for this stuff and it's been there for this all along? Or is the people they're employing not having good hygiene, or is this by design? I mean, how do you have this many things have this many problems?
Dude, I can explain that because I actually looked into this a couple years ago when I was healthy and really farming. The people they hire to pick the lettuce and pick the strawberries in California and everything are all third world country people. They're illegal immigrants. They do it for pennies on the dollar, literally pennies on the dollar. Do you think they go when they have to go take a whiz or take a dump that they go to the restroom?
Oh no, they're in the middle of a field.
They just do it right there. Do they wash their hands afterwards? Sure, they'll take some bottled water and but that's nothing, dude.
Have you on the same area of California? Have you seen where they've got 7 I forget what they call them, ancient diseases,
Yep.
where they're coming back because there's so many people. The way I understand it, there's so many people that are on drugs that are like passed out on the side of the road that have open wounds. The rats are going up and like eating their wounds. And sorry to
Oh
be
my
graphic,
God. Yeah. Makes
and
sense
then
though.
those rats are spreading stuff all over. But yeah, there's like seven. They're trying to keep it quiet, but there's 7 different um, old time diseases.
They also said that there were a lot of weird disease strains coming in from Asia that would normally not get here, coming in from South America that normally wouldn't get here. I mean, we're fighting a real world battle that people don't. I think Americans we've got it so good that we just it's not going to happen here in Mississippi.
It's already happening here.
We have so many problems with illegal immigrants, and we haven't even talked about the rise of the Islamic left that's on its way. You talk about that, and I sit there, Rick, at home, and I'm like, I can take this video, I can get myself up for a little bit, and I can edit out this video. But if I take out the cuss words, I mean, these are people wearing the Islamic cleric hat, and I mean, sitting there physically and verbally intimidating and abusing Christians, and the police don't do anything about it. But if a pastor like our good friend Gabriel Olivier and Coleman Boyd get out on a corner and preach Jesus, now you're affecting someone's civil rights.
You can go stand semi close to an abortion clinic and not say a word, and somebody accuse you of praying over that abortion clinic, and you can be arrested. But in New York and Michigan and Texas, Austin, they can play the call to prayer
Yep.
over the loudspeakers 5 times a day.
And I think the first one's at 5 a.m. And as someone who's heard call of prayer, dude, I actually appreciated it. I found it not hypnotizing, but it was just a calming voice. And then the guy said, "Hey, hi, look."
Well, it's not that. I'm not saying anything against them or for them. I'm just saying it's the 2-tier justice is just not the same.
Yep. And my point that I was trying to get with that is whenever I heard the call of prayer in Afghanistan, I knew things were going to quiet down for about 20, 30 minutes because everything stopped. And that was a time to reload, rearm, refresh, and get ready because in about 20 minutes after that, it was going to get hot and heavy again. And I don't want that here in the United States. I appreciated it in Afghanistan. That's how they live. That's their culture. Keep that crap over there. We don't want that crap over here.
Well, how much would things change if we use that call to prayer to pray to our God?
Oh,
5 times a day, every Christian out there that was in earshot of it, they use that as a reminder that it's time for them to pray too.
it would be incredible. There's a Catholic church in Dearborn, Michigan that rings its bells at 9 a.m. and they get protests every day because they're ringing the bells. And we again, I think it's American laziness. We've become so profitable. We are so economical. We are the most productive society ever in the history of humanity. We were,
yeah.
and we've gotten lazy and fat, and now it's one of those things where, hey, it's coming back to bite us, and our kids are ticked off, man. That's another subject too. We got a couple minutes. Well, no, we're going to take a break early because I got to tell you about this phone call I had with my son yesterday. I think it's really indicative of where Gen Z and Gen Alpha, well, Gen Alpha is just freaking lost. You are listening to Andrew and Rick. This is 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 1039 WYAB. Here with Brother Rick. Rick, I got to tell you, I had this conversation with my son yesterday. And I hope all the Republicans, the establishment types who listen to this show, hear this. My son is 30 years old. He's ran 3 local campaigns, never lost. He is a hard conservative. And we were talking yesterday, and he sent me a picture, which I can't even really describe, but it's cute. I'll show it to you. And he's like, Dad, I'm not happy with the Republicans and Trump right now. They're trying to buy a house. And I'm like, well, did you vote in the last race, Republican primary in Wisconsin? He just moved there, and he's like, Dad, I didn't. And that'll be the first time he's ever missed an election since he was 18, ladies and gentlemen, whether he lived in Illinois, whether he lived in Virginia. He never missed an election. And when you've got kids like this guy, he's 30 years old. He's a younger millennial. When you've got kids like this who are backing out of the political system, Republicans, you got a problem.
And see, I understand exactly where he's coming from. I have never missed a single opportunity to vote, not once. And when I tell you, I'm seriously weighing the option of just going fishing that Tuesday.
I'd say write in yourself, don't write in Mickey Mouse. That's silly, but vote yourself, get out there and vote. Let the party know you're not happy with them. And it's just not enough to let the party know over, by not voting, but man, take the time to go out and reach out to your county chairman. And if they don't answer you, remember that too. I'll tell you what, and I get in trouble for saying this, Rick, but to sit there and be a precinct delegate just for one day, because you're delegate one day, usually you get elected at 10 a.m. in the morning, except in Hinds County and one other county, they do it the following week. You get elected at 10 a.m. in the morning. At 4 p.m. at the courthouse. That's where the Republican Party congregates, and we elect our new chairman, vice chairman, secretary, and if you have a treasurer, you can get a treasurer too. And you can just sit there and just vote no, say I don't like what we're doing. And that might be the only time that you get your chance to go, but you ran for a precinct delegate. You took the time to get in there and get the job done.
And see, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just don't like the options we're given, and I don't know how to change that, because it seems like no matter what you do, there's always endless amounts of money coming from the other side. Doesn't matter which side you're talking about. Endless amounts of money, just like we were talking about in Florida, how they spent more money than they.
The Democrats 16
right.
million and the DSA 1 million.
Right, but I don't have $16 million to go up against these people.
But to be a precinct delegate, it takes you get your wife, your 2 neighbors, and maybe 2 other friends, and you show up at the church on a Saturday morning, and you're elected. And that's why I'm trying to get to explain people. And I know I'm not doing a good job of this, Rick. And
well, you don't have to hit a home run in the major leagues every time. Just get in the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying this bothered me a little bit in Illinois. Is we took over the county. We the Tea Party literally took over the county. And we got too big for our britches. We focused on everything we said we were going to do inside McHenry County, but then we started trying to take over all of Illinois from McHenry County. And you can't do that. I had to trust the people in Lake County. The people in Will County weren't doing what they were supposed to do. Kane County wasn't doing what they're supposed to do. I know you don't know these counties, but it's like DeSoto's not doing what it's supposed to do. Rankin's not doing what it's supposed to do. And you get so disillusioned so fast that people like you and I end up quitting, and it turns out to be an unmitigated disaster. And then the vacuum sucks in, and you get a lot worse than what you had to begin with.
Is it Michael Flynn who says, live in your 3-foot box?
Yep. I think that's Michael Flynn.
I'm pretty sure it is. And all he means is just fix your neighborhood and let the county fix itself.
You gotta control. I say it all the time. One of the rules of politics, rule two, control what you can control. And the stuff you can't control, you just got to hope that you got friends in that place who can. And I'll continue to talk about this, Brother Rick, because it is our civic duty. It's our responsibility as Americans to make sure that we continue this republic that our founding fathers gave us and not let it turn into a gang mob rule democracy.
Well, it's a republic if you can keep it.
A republic if you can keep it. Don't go anywhere. We're on our 7.5 minute break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Google listing is currently under audit and flagged for review. If you are the business owner, press 1 to speak to an authorized representative to ensure your listing is still visible to customers in your area. Press 1 now. Call 877-897-2049 or press 9 if call is in error.
And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show, right here on 103.9 WYAB. We are moving and grooving. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. No one cares about Facebook, and we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. If you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal that is 103.9 WYAB, help us build the station, grow the channel. Like, share, and subscribe right now. Share it on X. Share it on YouTube. Share it even on that dreaded Facebook platform. And tell a friend, tell a Democrat, tell a neighbor. Follow me on X at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. And the phone number, if you want to call, 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And the mission here is standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? You all are the saints. I planted it. Apollos watered it, but it's God who gave the increase, ladies and gentlemen. God gave the increase. Brother Rick, we're talking about, I had this one tweet pulled up right here, and it just says, we've heard more about this administration and a man who allegedly took some peeled paint out of a reflecting pool than we have about any of the two men who allegedly tried to shoot Donald Trump. It's true.
It is. And on the pool, I've heard some incredible people say that it wasn't installed correctly.
Yep, I've heard that too. And it's interesting. The material that they used is the same process that we used at the Algonquin Township Highway Department for the floor. It's like a rubber grit sealant. And they said that as long as the cement underneath it wasn't cracked or peeled, I mean, when we were doing the floors, they were so out of date, dude. I mean, it was just a complete, well, I can't say the word I was going to say, but it needed to be fixed. But we had to go into that foundation and fill the cracks and level it, laser level and all that stuff. And if it's not perfect, it's going to be a problem. But I agree that it's out there that some are saying it wasn't installed improperly. And
well, I mean, it just, to me, is just symptomatic of what's really going on in the world. We have, I want Capitol to look as nice as possible.
Mhm.
It should look as nice as possible. We want to be proud of it. We are a very blessed nation.
Yep.
Why can we not get the simple things right? I mean,
Mhm.
the way I understand it, it was a no bid contract. Somebody made a lot of money to go in there,
$16 million.
to go in there and redo the reflective pool to
Yep.
coat it right and all that. And we can't get it right. I just don't understand.
And everybody who says, "Oh, I'm pro-Trump 100% of the time," Trump's district attorney, Judge Jeanine Pirro, filed charges against that person and then dropped them. Why?
Because nobody gets held to account for anything unless you're speeding.
Or unless you're actually live streaming it on Facebook as you go ahead and
Right.
desecrate the World War II monument,
Yeah.
and then pour a bunch of dishwashing soap and have the World War II monument flood itself. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. But that leads us into our next topic.
So I was asking you if you'd heard this. If true, when I don't say know why it wouldn't be, but you can. What I've seen is you can pay $100,000 a month to True Social, and you will get Trump's decisions on various things before everybody else.
Is it 100,000 a month or 100,000 a year?
A month.
Holy crap.
And you get, like, say he's gonna tweet out something or truth something, or I don't know how they call it on
They
truth,
call it
but
truthing.
whatever. You get it before everybody else. Now, if you take that information and you go, all right, well, the strait's open.
Yep.
All right, so now if it's to go buy some futures in oil,
Yep.
you can make a lot of money.
That just to me, and I hate to say it, but it's true. It sounds like it's insider trading. I mean, think about this. President Trump's going to come out and say, we've had an incredible breakthrough on the F-47 and Boeing's going to start producing them next week. And you get that 3 hours before it goes public.
You get it 30 minutes before it goes public. I mean, the way that the internet works now,
Yep.
you could dump a bunch of money into Boeing.
Man, yeah. Well, that's a bad example because Boeing's crap. But
the example stands.
Yeah.
You could say that Trump's going to come out and allow McDonald's to supply every school district.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anything.
Exactly. And I do have a problem with that. We've had so much insider trading. You know, we'll sit here and complain about Nancy Pelosi making all that money off of futures trading. Well, we got to hold the accountability. And I will say this, Trump's done a lot more good than he has bad, but man, when he's off on something like this, it's really a problem. Now I might get a phone call here after the show saying, "Hey, Andy, that's
Wall
not
coming back." Yeah.
That this is what it's really about. And I'll be like, okay, well then why didn't you say that? Because Rick, you are one of the most plugged in people I know. And I might not agree with you every time about it, but when you'll be like, Andy, did you see this? And I'm be like, man, I didn't see that. You've got eyes to see and you've got ears to hear, dude.
Well, it goes back to what I said the first hour. I want me to be wrong more than anybody who can hear my voice.
Yep.
I don't want to be right about all this stuff. But unfortunately, I think I do listen to a lot of things, and I do try to see past all the clutter and see what's really going on. And you know, if you call a spade, I mean, I'm not the bad guy for calling it out and saying it's wrong. Wrong is wrong.
Brother, you're completely right, and I agree with you 1,000%. And it's just a shame to me that we get sidetracked because our attention spans are so small.
15 seconds.
We need that new dopamine hit, that new scroll to the left, swipe right, up, down, whatever it is, and we get focused on something like this instead of the issues that are really important to us, that are really having an impact in our life, like food security, like energy security.
Well, something that will help you with your 15-second memory.
Mm-hmm.
A garden, it takes way longer than 15 seconds for that whole process.
Oh, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And it's going to sit there and it's going to teach you patience. Like that's the one thing that the Sweet Bee and I catch at 7 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Sweet Bee and Andrew Gosser, we equipping the saints. Quick plug there. But the one thing that we prayed for that maybe I wish I didn't pray for, but the Lord definitely heard it, was I was like, Bernadette and I prayed for patience, and we both heard okay. And 8 years later, we finally learning a little bit about patience, but you've got to have that stick-to-itiveness. I mean, I know going through officer training school, college degree was semi-important, but it showed that you could finish something, and they want people who can finish stuff. And we're not finishing jack right now.
I think y'all's next, not just throwing my 2 cents out there, y'all's next little Bible study should be on Luke 22.
Luke 22. I put that in the show hopper. I know this weekend is Luke coming up, Luke 4 actually, and then we're doing one show, one book or one show on each book, and we're going to try to get through the New Testament. And we already did Luke, but I'll put that in the hopper and see if we can do an audible.
Do you remember what Luke 22 is about?
No, I
sell your cloak and buy a sword.
Woo! Yeah, that better be a sword of the spirit, though.
Hey, I'm just a sword.
Well, you know,
I didn't say go swing at everybody.
Well, I'll say this: Lord, you go to Ephesians and it talks about put on the full armor of God. But what's the last thing you get? The sword of the spirit. You got to learn how to swing that sucker.
That's right.
You can't do that when you got an imam screaming at you 2 miles or 2 inches from your face. One thing I wanted to get out real quick, and we've got time to talk about it. We've got to talk about. It took when my computer rebooted, it got rid of it. You joker. Here we go. USS George Washington relieves USS Abraham Lincoln.
Thank goodness. Them boys need to come home.
Those boys and girls did a shot. And so Carrier Air Wing 5 is embarked on the George Washington, and they have a certain F-18 Super Hornet squadron, the F model, the 2-seaters, the family model, as Mover would say, if you know who he is. VFA 102 Diamondbacks, my old squadron, is now in the hopper. Godspeed to you shipmates out there. I wish I could run around there. IWT troubleshooter. Dude, I'll tell you what, there was nothing in life like sitting away 7 feet from an F-14B. You couldn't even put it in afterburner because it was too powerful. But when we had the A models, they were the TF-30. It's an afterburner, full afterburner. And there's little Andrew Gosser sitting there. Good, it's good, it's good. Oh, dude. I mean,
I've always been amazed. I don't know the name of them, but but on the flight deck, you got the orange shirts,
the yellow shirts,
yellow shirts, maybe, and they are the most animated people.
Absolutely. It's now here's the thing. You think that they're showing off and doing stuff,
but they're actually communicating.
They're communicating to other yellow shirts, other blue shirts, the tractor drivers of the blue shirts. And then you had the chain gang, which would walk right beside the airplane. So if you had an emergency tie down, and you sit there and you knew like, okay, this is Jimmy, and he's always got this right kick. And you would see the pilot just slowly nudge the airplane to the right. And it looks like, unfortunately, everybody sees Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, and they've got the shooters doing all the craziness. And there is a little bit of showboating, I guess, for that. But I'm telling you what, there's a lot more stuff, communication, and it's all nonverbal. Literally, like you're looking.
It has to be. You can't hear anything.
Oh, dude, it was so fun, man. I did 3 cruises as an enlisted man on a carrier, and I'll tell you what, the USS America had a lot crappier conditions than the USS Abraham Lincoln, and dude, I miss it. And then I got to do a workup deployment on the USS Nimitz as an officer in the officers' quarters and everything. And I was like, man, I am living large. I had AC, which was great. I mean, try being in a 96-man berthing with no AC, dude. The funk that
does not sound fun to me.
1991, 92 cruise for me.
No, sir.
That's what, and I'll tell you what, the food was always pretty good, but I'm telling you what, the food is not. There were days where I was like, the MRE in Afghanistan was better than some of the food on the carrier, but it just ebbs and flows, it ebbs and flows. But shout out to the GW and Carrier Air Wing 5 and the VFA 102 Diamondbacks. Godspeed, go kick some ass and come home. And to our soldiers, our sailors and Marines who are on Abraham Lincoln, can't wait for you to get home and reunite with the family. Hopefully the Department of the Navy gives you some extra R&R. You all deserve it.
Yep, they do.
And hopefully the ship or the shipbuilders and repair docks in Bremerton, Washington, get Lincoln in as fast as possible and get her ready to go again, because fortunately our presidents and politicians, Republicans and Democrats, and all those admirals who screwed up the construction of new aircraft carriers. We're at 11 carriers right now, really 10 because Nimitz doesn't count. We're in a hurt for that. It's going to suck, but hopefully everybody gets home okay. Get some R&R. 85% reenlistment rate on the Lincoln.
We'll see what it is after they get back.
Oh well, no. I'm talking about as of last month, it was 85% enlistment. There's all the stories of the sailors jumping off. Dude, we had 2 jumpers on one of our cruises in the Persian Gulf, and they're getting sent home. I'm telling you, the 2 jumpers that we had, when they got caught, they were put in brig, and they just sat there until we could ferry them off and get them. I mean, it's terrible, and you never want to sit there and talk about that. But the truth of the matter is the media is spinning this up, and social media spins stuff up and makes it so much more sensational than it really is.
One thing that you've got to realize, it doesn't matter if you're hardcore right or left.
Yeah.
Everything that you see is getting spun one way or another, and you've got to have the bearings to look at it for what it is. It's all if they tell you that there's a 100% chance that tomorrow it's going to rain 5 inches, you've got to have enough common sense to go, how often does it really rain 5 inches in one day, and why would they say that? What outside event do they not want me to go to?
Yep. Eyes to see, ears to hear. Brother, we got to take our break. You are listening to Brother Rick and Andrew Gosser on WYAB. We'll be right back. And we are back here at the Andrew Gossip Show on 1039 WYB. I was sent a story, and we're going to talk about it, Brother Rick, but you got to let me finish fact checking it because when I drop this on the radio, I'm going to be definitely getting in trouble for talking about it. And I want to just make sure I have all my ducks in a row, if that's all right.
Oh, go ahead.
Yep. So we're going to go over here to what I've also got locked into my history here. Let's talk WNBA.
Oh man, Royce White, I'm for the win. Or
Yep,
I can't remember what his new name is.
Rosetta,
something like that.
Yeah. Well, this, we talk about people wanting to be true and love and care for one another, but we've completely lost sense with our reality. We've lost sense of God and science. Boys are boys, girls are girls. I got to get the kindergarten cop in there,
Right?
but I don't have it with me. The boss said I could play it, but I have to get it done. But listen to this question. This is the WNBA coach against the Save Women's Sports protest. Listen to what she says here.
And I want to ask you, there are reports of the protests outside the arena regarding trans kids or trans people participating in sports. Cheryl talked about it. Do you have any comment on that?
I would say just my comment would be, as I've spoken before, like there's, just in the world and just in sports right now, there's too much hate that's going on, too much hate speech. I would, highly suggest people continue to lead with love. I love to lead with love. I don't think the word love has been expressed enough. For me, I want to continue to share that and also just continue to support, because I know when we, are love on each other, like we bring the best out of each other. And so that's what I want to continue to stand on.
When did Kamala Harris become the speaker?
Dude, this was some pretty good word salad. That's what I was thinking when I first saw this.
That was just a whole circle of love.
God is love.
Yeah.
And they've now changed love is love. Well, everybody knows what God is, but do you know what love is? Love means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And
but she's focused on the speech. She goes, there's too
Yeah.
much hate speech. But no, if you actually watch a game or watch the highlights, it's not, nobody's yelling at anybody. They're actually doing things. There's, in my opinion, open racism in the WNBA.
Oh, absolutely. There's open racism everywhere, though. Look at Ben Salacious Crumb and the irreverent Sharpton.
Yep.
I've done this. I'm like, when have they ever come and got good results or something? All they do is bring attention. They bring hate. They bring anger.
And they get a paycheck.
And they get a big paycheck. And then you ask them, how come you didn't surrender Nolan Wells' phone when the prosecutors and investigators were looking for it? You think they could have had a big deal?
There was no money to be made there. See, that's the thing, though.
Yep.
Everything is pushed by money. It's the root of all evil.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Well, there's your back to love again.
Well, but I think that's what the Bible verse says. It's the love of money, not money. Now you're gonna make me check that out real quick.
It doesn't matter. It's the principle is the same.
Yep.
It's not profitable to unite people. It is very profitable to divide everybody and frustrate people and confuse them and lead them down wrong paths. There's just nothing to be made from helping people anymore.
Yep. So what time is it? I believe we've got time for this. So I'm pulling this from 8 different sources, and I'm going to just read this 9 sources, but I'm just going to read them, the sources, before we talk about the story. Okay. So this is coming from Mississippi Today, Political Wire, BenzingaInvesting.com. This is coming from investing.com, quiverquantitative.com, stocktrades.com, marketbeat.com, and the official House Clerk PTR filing. And I'm just going to read the story right here. This is actually coming from Notice, not us. House Ethics Chair violates Stock Act. Now, before we all know who the House Ethics Chair is, it's Congressman Michael Guest. I have to be truthful. When I was a county board member, I filed my campaign filing, my quarterly, 2 days late. So, and I paid a $25 fine. There was no nefariousness there. It's just Illinois had very specific rules. I then went to electronic paying, and I took over making sure that my filing got filed on time. Republican Michael Guest was months late disclosing 3 stock sales. 3 stock sales.
Which ones were they?
So this is so funny. You should ask. Let me go right here. They were 3 stock trades, including Chevron, Airbnb, and ELF Beauty, executed on the 16th of December, 2025, via a family trust benefiting his wife. And the law specifically says, and the range of value of the stocks were between $1,001 and $15,000. And people will say, well, that's not that big of a deal. But for me, I'm not even upset that if it's 2 days late, you should have better than that. But I get, I have some grace as a recovering politician. I have a little bit of grace for a late filing on this, on your campaign finance reform. But this is saying that it was over 45 days late. And this is the second such disclosure violation. He also had one involving an oil stock trust that occurred in 2021. And so I'm not sitting here making this up. And I'd love to do something like this on Benny Thompson, but when we have campaign or violations like that, we wonder. He sure as hell went after George Santos, but he doesn't go after Ilhan Omar. He'll go after another Republican, but he won't go after a Democrat, and it's bothering me.
Well, when there's no penalties for not being on time, I mean, is there really a deadline? Maybe we should be glad that he did it at all.
Guest, a 4-term Republican in Mississippi, pop-up ad, awesome. 4-term Republican from Mississippi was more than 6 months late disclosing. Oh, it's just saying 6 months late, not 45 days late. And again, it says a trust fund owned by his wife Haley involving shares of the oil giant. I hate it when they make add adjectives to make it more insidious, because it's Chevron, Airbnb platform, and a cosmetic company. By law, members of Congress must publicly disclose individual stock trades within 45 days of a trade's execution. These include trades made on behalf of themselves, their spouses, and their dependent children. And it goes on and on and on. And I'm not going to sit here and beat the crap out of Michael Guest. He obviously screwed up 6 months late. And this is what Michael Guest said. So I want to make sure that I give his side of the story too. A compliance firm missed them, discovering the oversight while preparing my annual House disclosure, Guest wrote, adding that he's notified the House Ethics Community staff and has initiated additional compliance review. Guest indicated that each sale was both between $1,001 and $15,000. Lawmakers are only required to disclose values in broad ranges, and that the stock sales were made at a loss.
I mean, but when we're going in debt nationally at what will soon be $1 trillion a month, I mean, what difference does it make for, to quote Miss Clinton?
Man, I don't know. I'm getting all sorts of stuff, Sarah. I see a lot of deflection. I see some regret in what he said. But it may, like when my son reads this and tells me about this, I mean, you Republicans were so stupid. We are losing the younger generation to the damn socialists and communists. It's because of things like this.
It's because of what I just read you from Trump, saying that, the reason we can't afford homes is because we don't work hard enough. It's statements like that that's taking the youth away from this Republican Party.
We're not shooting ourselves in the foot, dude. We're shooting ourselves in the
off.
No, we're shooting ourselves in the head. I mean, I know my son won't go that way, but there's a lot of weak-minded people out there who just go with the flow.
Yep.
And stuff like this is not good. I'm going to share this article on X right now as soon as I get this done. But you know what? It's already time, I believe, for a break. So we're going to go take our – dude, we only got one big segment left, dude. It's nuts. And we're covering real-time news as it happens, ladies and gentlemen, as it happens. You are listening to Rick and Andrew on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show. I've reposted that article on Congressman Michael Guest, and I want to make sure that I cover all sides of this. So, Guest's committee is empowered to fine and to waive fines for Stock Act scofflaws. The standard penalty for first-time violators is $200. Congressman Michael Guest intends to pay any late filing fine and doesn't believe that there will be any need to recuse himself from the committee's consideration of it, Downs said. In the House, other Stock Act violators during the past year include, and I'm going to read these all because it's fine to point out our own, but we need to make sure we know all the people in the United States House of Representatives who are screwing this up. Michael Ruley, Republican, Ohio. Sherry Theander, Democrat, Michigan, the one who just lost, and that's Michigan 13.
Yep.
A good brother took him out, and he's still liberal as hell, but at least now downtown Michigan is going to have somebody who's reflective of the population there. Tracy Mann, Republican, Kansas. Julie Johnson, Democrat, Texas. Linda Sanchez, Democrat, California. Julia Letlow, Republican, Louisiana. Jim Jordan, Republican, Ohio. Lisa McClain, Republican, Michigan. Pat Ryan, Democrat, New York. Sherry Biggs, Republican, South Kakalaki. Derek Tran, Democrat, California, not trans, but Tran. Donald Norcross, Democrat, New Jersey. Tim Walberg, Republican, Michigan. Rich McCormick, Republican, Georgia. Richie Torres, Democrat, New York. Troy Nels, Republican, Texas. Dan Mazur, Republican, Texas, or Republican, Pennsylvania. Jonathan Jackson, son of Jesse Jackson, Democrat, Illinois. George Whitesides, Democrat, California. Val Hoyle, Democrat, Oregon. Austin Scott, Republican, Georgia. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democrat, Florida. Premiera Jayapal, part of the squad and a DSA member, Democrat, Washington. Kelly Morrison, Democrat, Minnesota. Christian Menifee, Democrat, Texas. Daniel Webster, Republican, Florida. Ed Case, Democrat, Hawaii. Dan Crenshaw.
Rhino.
I could say a lot worse than that piece of. I'm going to stop myself. Dan Crenshaw, Republican, Texas. Laurel Lee, Republican, Florida. Scott Franklin, Republican, Florida. Kevin Hearn, Republican, Oklahoma, was also late, although his office denies it. It sounds to me like there's a lot of people in Congress who are making money off of stock trades, declaring it late and just paying the $200 late fee.
Well, like I said before, I mean, if there's no real penalty for doing it the right way, is there a wrong way to do it?
Senators who have been involved in Stock Act trading during violations during the past year include Senator Alan Armstrong, Republican, Oklahoma. Ron Wyden, Democrat, Oregon. That guy's a piece of work. Katie Britt, Republican of Alabama. She must be going to UAT. Susan Collins, who's in the fight of her life up in Maine. John Hickenlooper, Democrat, Colorado. He just won a re-election bid. Big fight in Colorado. Mike Rounds, Republican, South Carolina. And John Fetterman, Democrat, Pennsylvania. So there's a lot of our elected officials who are violating the Stock Act. And my whole point to this is really simple. You know, when you get that freshman orientation, you know, there should be some class on this. When I became a county board member, we had indoc class. It is indoctrination class. Now, let's just call it indoc class or induction. But dude, that was 2 days of all the rules, and we spent campaign finance and kind of stuff like that. Even though it's once you're elected, there are rules that you got to follow, and we went into that. I'm telling you what, it just seems like everybody's just Florida freestyling it, and no one's really doing anything about it. Just how it looks to me.
Well, it's kind of going back to what we started off with. The system it's messed up.
Yep.
And I don't know how you can take a bunch of people that are currently involved and get them to straighten it out. They don't profit from it. So from straightening it out. So why would they?
I don't know, but I do want to say this because I'm already getting a nasty gram from the establishment. I did not say one thing derogatory towards Michael Guest. I didn't mispronounce his name. I strictly reported the news story and validated it with 10 total sources. 10 other sources besides not us. This is just the one that was sent to me. So don't be telling me that I'm sitting here bad mouthing or trying to slander Michael Guest, because I'm not. I'm just saying that this is the second time that he's had. He should at a minimum fire the audit firm that's doing his filing. I mean, I paid somebody $200 a year, 25 or $100 a year, $25 a quarter to make sure that it got filed right. And once they did it, I fired them and took responsibility for it. They didn't even report it in the paper because it was 2 days, and they like reporting it. A lot of them. I mean, you can go Google it. The only person that I talked crap about was Dan Crenshaw, and he lost in a Republican primary because enough Tea Party conservatives and MAGA people got him out of there. And you can be a Navy SEAL and you can lose an eye, but it still doesn't mean that you weren't a crappy congressman. And that's all I got to say about that.
I fell for his charisma early on.
Yeah.
But once you start looking into chapter 2, chapter 3 of his so-called time in Washington, it doesn't take long to realize that you were lied to.
Yep. Dude, I know you've got a story that we want to get to. You're trying to send it to me on X, but it's not coming through, my friend.
Yeah, I texted it to you as well.
Okay, cool.
It's just something I came across that just was interesting, to say the least. But there is the
keep talking, we'll play it.
Supposedly it's the right-hand man of Netanyahu is Rabbi Griffin. And I watched this video this morning. I have no way of saying it's not AI. I just know that I've seen it posted by a lot of people who are very credible. And
well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to listen to this before we play it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take an early commercial break, and we'll have a longer segment, last segment, if that's all right. All right. You're listening to Brother Rick and Andrew Gosser right here on 103.9 WYAB, where we tell the truth. We'll be right back.
We had a lady a long time ago who was a little rough around the edges, and she got sick and tired of people telling her the Jews killed Christ. And she said, we had a lady a long time ago who was a little rough around the edges, and she got sick and tired of people telling her the Jews killed Christ. And she said, she told me one time, she goes, I got sick. Somebody at work said the Jews killed Christ. And I said, you're welcome. She said the person was like, I'm sorry, what? She said, well, don't you believe that he has to die for your sins so you can be forgiven and go to heaven and live for all eternity and have eternal life? Yes. Well, you're welcome.
Well, you're welcome.
We had a lady a long time ago who was a little rough around the edges.
And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We're going to save that clip because the source of the clip is a little bit suspect. And I did some AI investigation, and it's true, but it might have taken it out of context. So we're going to save that clip. But this is one clip that we can't take out of context, Brother Rick. And now this is coming from, again, a kind of a suspect source, but the chat is the same. And since it's a Republican talking and a Democrat talking, it's really good.
Would you love to see Hakeem Jeffries just say, look, there's no room for socialists in our party?
Yeah, I mean, I think to speak out against the DSA agenda. Okay, again, no Senate. We're just going to get rid of the Senate. No prisons, no borders. This idea of embracing a Fidel Castro. I think the Democratic leadership needs to speak out against it because, yes, primary stuff is we're in the general election now. And this is not what general election voters want. But I will tell you, there is a economic populist movement to the DSA, and we got to recognize that we got to talk about how people are struggling to afford the American way of life.
Right.
And that's Democrat Jared Moskowitz of Florida, who won. They completely redistricted Florida. He's the one Democrat who kept his, one of like 2 or 3 Democrats that kept their seat.
Well, he's talking to the people. I mean, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, you're struggling right now. Groceries are crazy. You can't afford a house anymore.
You don't work hard enough.
Yes, that's according to our president.
But we don't criticize Republican politicians on this show. We're just Kool-Aid drinkers.
Yeah, well, I stopped drinking Kool-Aid a long time ago. I filter my water.
Me too. And getting the fluoride out is something else too. But Congressman Moskowitz brings up a real good point. There's a real divide inside the Democrat Party, just like there's a real divide inside the Republican Party.
There's a divide inside the American country. There's a big division between the 1%ers and the rest of us. It's a huge divide.
Yep. And I just got sent a video. It's 8 minutes long. Oh man, you can't be here tomorrow, can't? Oh no, it's going to be jam-packed anyway.
Tomorrow you're going to be.
Yeah, tomorrow I've got the GOP chairman from Carver County, Minnesota, calling in to talk about how Muslims have invaded Carver County and how they're taking over through the voting scandal that James O'Keefe provided. And they're trying to sue James O'Keefe now. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
I think that's crazy.
And there's another guy, I don't recall his name, but
Cam Higbee.
Yes, did the same thing, and they're trying to put him in jail.
Yep, Nick Shirley too. And that's real journalism and reporting there. And I just want to say, if you are disgusted with the way that your political decisions are being made, whether that be dog catcher to congressman, you have a voice. And I'm not sitting here I don't want you to be argumentative or combative, dropping F-bombs, unless it's about Dan Crenshaw, then I'll give you a little bit of slack. But we have to start being more politically involved, because if not, we're going to get the DSAs taken over, because it's the easy way. And, the only easy day was yesterday. And if we can keep on taking the easy way, you're going to see that the easy way is going to lead to tyranny. And we're on that way, brother.
Very fast, very fast. But see, the problem is, the Republicans are, like we said earlier, they're shooting themselves in the foot because they're just saying work harder. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You don't understand. The same house that our parents bought for $80,000 25 years ago is $400,000 now. The same house, and it's only depreciated in the material that was built with. It's nothing. It's not the same playing field that it was 25 years ago, but yet Republicans can't get out of that rut of just work harder.
In the 90s and 2000s, even in the 2010s, buying distressed properties was really lucrative, and there's a lot of people who made a lot of money. In fact, we bought a distressed farm in Hinds County, but you can't even do that anymore because you got corporations that just go in and suck them all up, use a bunch of illegal aliens to rehab the house, and then rent it out for 17.
And see, that's the key. They're renting it. They're not selling it. They're renting it, and that size up more of the market.
And it's driving it all down. I mean, you look at that town in Ohio where they kicked out all the Haitians, and the market, I don't want to say the housing market crashed there, but it went back down to lower prices because you don't have a bunch of illegal aliens stealing a bunch of Medicare fraud money to go ahead and do that. And we've got to take control of it, man.
It's one of those things. I know everybody's heard the cliche, you can't vote your way out of tyranny.
Nope.
I agree with that, but there are steps to take before we get there. We've just got to get people to wake up. Like, I never wanted to be on a radio show.
Nope.
But I'm doing it because I want my kids to have a better life. And I'm trying to wake people up and trying to help people out. Y'all start calling in. Call your congressman. Call your representatives. Run for office. Just whatever everybody's doing right now isn't working. So we got to try something different. Burn the boats.
Burn the boats. Don't
burn the boats. There's nobody's coming to save you. Save yourself. Educate yourself. And let's go.
Yeah, man. And I'm all for that. That's why I talk about being involved in your local Republican club. Even if you're a Democrat and you're listening, you should be involved with the Democrat Party. You really should. And I will continue to harp on everybody being a precinct delegate. It's better to run for precinct delegate and lose than try to run for Congress and lose. You're going to save a lot of money. You're going to find out. It's like your first day of boot camp, and I'm not going to spoil the first day of boot camp. You can go watch a bunch of videos and have it spoiled for you. But it makes you really question your decision on whether you want to be there. And being the first day of boot camp is a lot different than being the first day of selection or something like that, because you've already made certain commitments. But you really have to question, do you want to save your country? Do you want to save your county? Or you just enjoy whining and complaining on the sidelines? People are like, Andy, all you do is get on the radio and complain. I'm like, I have offered to teach biblical. Dude, if we get 10 people together, I will teach biblical citizenship for people who have never done that. If people want to get together and say, hey, how do we become a precinct delegate? I got a 2-hour program on that. I'll do it.
I'm the same way. If you want to get together and learn how to grow chickens.
Yep.
If you want to learn how to the difference in meat chickens and egg laying chickens. If you want to know about rabbits, I don't know everything. I just know what I know, and I'm willing to tell anybody about it.
You know, actually, now you brought up my mom actually called me last week and told me how cool it was to have you listening on the show. So, hi, Mom.
Hey, Miss Gosser.
Yeah, and then the other thing is you talked about rabbits in Suburbans.
Oh yeah,
no one's going to complain about you having 2 or 3 rabbits,
even if you're in a neighborhood. They don't make noise.
Nope, they're quiet and they don't stink as long as
they don't.
And you're going to have the best flower beds out there, man. And that's why I enjoy having you on the program, Rick, because, you know, we give our political points, but we got so much more. Whoa. We have so much more going on, man. And people learning about rabbits, sheep. I've had like 15 people out to the farm for the day, helping me learn how to do sheep. And they came back and bought a lot of sheep too.
Yeah.
But the thing is that now, from my flock, there's like 15 different flocks in Mississippi coming from my farm.
And that's just like knowledge. You start spreading and it gets everywhere.
And some of these kids are so much younger and they get it. So let's keep the faith a little bit. Know that our politicians are going to fail us, but Jesus won't. And Brother Rick, hope we have you back next Thursday. We'll see what happens.
See.
And until then, everybody, Lindsay Beckham is coming up next. Take care, everybody. Be blessed. Yes and amen. Amen, ladies and gentlemen.